We're talking about how to increase the skill ceiling in Rainbow Six Siege. Now, like, name every way to increase the skill gap. How do you increase the skill gap in Rainbow? I said make it 2-shot headshot, which is very like hot take, but make headshots 50% hit kill. Yeah, so like 2-shot headshot, that's what we're saying. The problem really is the trap meta. Like, there is no real skill needed for placing traps, and there will always be like this. Yeah. Make utility more important than gunplay, which at the moment feels less like it. But are you saying so you want it to be more util than the gunplay? But then do you not think if it's like that, and then, I don't know, do you not think it kind of makes it, nah, not less, but like if everyone's just relying on like Kapkan traps and like goo mines and shit or whatever? I don't know, I'm kind of the opposite. Yes. Like, I don't want the game, this is the thing though, I don't want the game to like, I know like my stance and everything kind of makes it seem like I want the game to be like Call of Duty. I don't want the game to be like COD, but then it's also kind of like, I don't like the fact that some people can have bad aim and be better than someone with really good aim. Does that make sense? Obviously the person with good aim like will outfag the person with bad aim like 60-70% of the time, but there's too many times where like a really bad player, and I know I sound like I'm crying like a bitch, but there's too many times where a really bad player is just like out-fagging me just from like bullshit, just because I don't know, like they just accidentally kill me. Like they don't even mean to kill me, they just accidentally kill me, or I run into their Kapkan trap, or I don't know, it's just, and I know it's simple as just like check the doors, but how am I supposed to check the door when I'm also having to clear 7 different angles as I'm walking into the room? There are so many ways to change the game to have a high skill ceiling, but the main issue is that rank will never be competitive in this game since people can just run in and frag. Well, that's the thing, right? Okay, here, yeah, you got a good point, and that's kind of like what I'm about to say, right? I feel like, yeah, ranked, but then, okay, let me say this first and then continue. Let me just say, okay, ranked players, most ranked players do just like to frag out, right? They do just love to frag out. Like, that's what ranked players love to do, frag out, right? But then it also brings me to the next kind of question is, if most ranked players just like to frag out, doesn't that just also mean that's what majority of the community like to do anyway? Just as a game, they like to frag. So rather than like going against what the community prefer to do, why not just do what they enjoy to do? Or do you think that's a bad game direction? Like, if you notice that the community are always wanting to just run around and frag out, would it be better to, rather than just making the trap ops more OP to counter it, wouldn't you want to, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I'm not saying they should do that, but I don't know. I'm trying to just make a point to see what like the counter argument is. And then, you know, I'm not saying, I don't know. It's hard, it's literally, it's so hard to, if that's what the community liked, no matter how like you nerf the, like no matter what you make meta, most people are still going to run around and frag because that's what they like to do. So then if that's what people like to do, shouldn't you just do that for people? I don't know, it's hard because it's like, you have that side of the game that love to run around and frag, but then there is a side to the game where it's like people really love to slow tactical. Okay, because I feel like, right? I feel like I've built a community where most of my viewers love to run around and frag, right? But then, it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say. But then I feel like people like King George and Macy J have built an audience where they love to like play really tactical, and by really tactical, sit outside the map for 2 minutes with a 3x scope and aim at one door. So it's like, how do you cater to like both? How do you cater to both? It's really hard. It is really hard. I don't think you can. Because my community, I feel like I built community where we all love fast-paced gameplay. But then if you were to ask the same question to Macy's J community, I feel like they all would say, I prefer slow siege, I prefer tactical. So it was really hard to, you know. Now let me put it this way, I don't want just run and gun. That's what I'm saying, right? I don't just want run and gun. If I wanted run and gun, I would not be playing Rainbow for 7 years. I'd be a COD player. If I simply wanted run and gun, I would be playing COD. So there's a reason I'm playing the game for this long, because I do prefer the vertical play. I do prefer the having to clear out a room and all that, but it's like, I think the problem for me is just like the extent they take it to. It's like buffing Kapkan. They're buffing all the trap ops. They're introducing even more trap ops. It's like, kind of like, I like tactical, but it's getting to a point where it's like, it's not even tactical. It's just annoying. Like, it's not even, that's the thing. It's like, it's getting to a point where it's like, it's not even tactical anymore. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. How to make Siege a perfect game for me. This is how to make Siege a perfect game for me. I kind of like where the game is right now. You know, the game's still kind of tactical in a way. You know, if the game wasn't tactical, you know, we wouldn't always be needing hard breaches. We wouldn't always need certain ops. Like, there's still a tactical aspect to the game in some way, shape, or form. My problem is the skill gap. My problem is the skill gap and the trap ops. That is my two problems. The skill gap being too low and the trap operators on defense. That is my one. That is the two things. It's literally that simple. Spotted by scan. You see me. Spotted by scan. You know I'm here. You know I'm here. Swing me. Yep. Never. Yep. Never. Not playing the game anymore. I don't think the skill gap is too low. It's the ranked system that sucks because everyone can get champ and diamond. No, the skill gap is too low. Ranked, even without that logo in front of you that says you are a champ player. I'm just talking about the game as a whole. Just like people, just players. Like, the skill gap is just like, you could get like an alright player and a really good player. And I feel like you could put them in 10 matches, and I feel like there wouldn't be that much of a difference. In a way. But it's like, technically speaking, how do I explain it? Like, I don't wanna like compare it to other games, right? But think of it this way. CSGO, right? I don't know what Valorant's like, but I'm gonna say CSGO only because I know CSGO. If you put a silver in a 1v1 against a global elite, that silver does not stand a chance. That silver does not stand a chance whatsoever. Silver against global elite does not stand a chance, right? In Rainbow Six Siege, if you put a silver against a champ in Rainbow Six Siege, I low-key feel like the silver might take like a good 2 rounds. Like, the fact the silver could maybe take 2 rounds is like concerning. What about movement? Okay, what about a game mechanic? What do you think is like a new game mechanic they could add to the game? Like, for example, jumping. But I think it's too late to add jumping. Like, jumping is I wonder a new game mechanic that could increase skill gap. What's a new game? Sliding or jumping? Jump or slide? I think, would that make the game too weird though? Obviously, it's too late to add something like jumping, because like, they built the maps around like obviously not being able to jump. I think jump and sliding, nah. But like, I don't know, something. It sounds stupid. It really sounds stupid. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this, right? And everyone is just going to say, oh, that's literally CSGO and Valorant. I think having a third option to unarm for a 10% movement boost is a game mechanic skill gap feature. Having the third option to unarm your guns to move 10% quicker, to like just fully unequip everything and have your fist out, just to have a 10% movement speed. And then a way the game can then make money from that new gameplay feature is adding knives to the game. Is literally just to add knives to the game. And I know you're just gonna say, oh, that's CSGO, that's Valorant. But hear me out, right? I think in your head, the first thing you think of is, that's Valorant. They shouldn't do that. That's not Siege at all. But think like, even Tarkov. Tarkov is the most tactical game out there. You can unarm your guns in Tarkov. So why does everyone go, oh, that's Valorant, they shouldn't do that? But you can do the same in Tarkov. Why does no one go, oh, that's just like Tarkov? Why does everyone jump the gun and go straight to, that's literally Valorant? I think everyone says we want the game to be more tactical. If you want the game to be they should add a new game mechanic where you have your primary gun, your secondary gun, and unequipped. You just unequip your weapons and you just have your fist out. And if you want to spend some money in the game, you can buy a knife if you want, or make it like, you can either make it like just whatever knife there is globally, or kind of have it like there's one specific knife per operator, and they kind of like, you know like Apex heirlooms, where they just make it specific for that character. You can either go down that route or just make it like CSGO, where it's just global for everyone. But I truly do think, like, I truly do think they should make a unequipped. And hear me out, yeah, hear me out. Because I made this tweet a long time ago, right? But does it not add skill ceiling, right? Not only is Ubisoft increasing the revenue of the game, Ubisoft make a hell of a lot of money. Everyone's gonna start buying knives. Everyone's gonna make a lot of money, right? But then it also adds a skill gap to the game. It adds a skill ceiling. Because the good players will know when to unequip and when not to unequip. The people will know, like, okay, bring out my knife so I can rotate back this height quicker. Bring out my knife here so I can... Just knowing when to, like, take advantage of that 10% movement boost and when not to. Because you gotta think, if you are caught with, like, your, you know, pants down and you're holding out a knife, you're done for. So there's a like, skill ceiling to it. Yeah, you get 10% movement speed, but then you lose that, like, you don't have a gun up, so you're vulnerable. And I will stand on this hill till the day I die. Who else thinks a new op is too good? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say until, like, they're fully out on the live build. What's the purpose though? The purpose of what? Being able to unequip your gun? Because it adds, just to look at your crowd, like CS? Well, no. The good players will know when to bring out their knife, and the bad players will not know. Like, here's the thing. So I'm running out of spawn. I could press 3 or just scroll down twice. Unarm, yeah? So pretend this is me unarming. I get that 10% movement speed, then I might be stupid enough to just die from a spawn peak here. But that's on me, right? That's on me. I'm thinking stupid. I'm thinking, oh, la 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 la, I get 10% movement speed. But I die to spawn peak because I don't have any guns equipped. Because I'm unequipped. I got my knife out, you know? Knowing when to take advantage of that movement speed and knowing when not to. Knowing when you're vulnerable, knowing when you're not vulnerable. Oh my god. Nice team. Nice team, nice team, nice team. A195825. Was that 20 now? 20 gifted. 20. Another 10!